Hello everyone. So I got some exciting news and a first for the channel. We made our first brand collaboration deal with Highy boots. So as the channel's slowly grown, I've actually had a few brands and products reach out to me before Highy did. Just want me to kind of test their products and give my opinion on them. But I didn't accept any of those before because I wasn't really interested in them, because I didn't know that I'd use them around here, and they didn't really relate to a lot of the work I do. But when Highy contacted me, it's something I was interested in trying, because if you guys have watched the channel for very long, you know I pretty much live in these type of boots for about 6 months out of the year, especially with the winters that we have around here in the mud season. For at least 6 or 7 months I'm living in these boots, and recently I just haven't been very happy with any of the boots I've tried. I've tried about all of them, from bogs to mucks to lacrosse boots. I can't hardly get a boot that lasts more than one winter for me, so I'm excited to give these ones a try and see how they do. So currently, this last winter, I've been wearing these lacrosse boots, and these were pretty decent boots, and they were pretty comfortable. But within 3 months, I don't know if you can see here, but they started cracking right here where the rubber bends, and I've got a hole there. So within 3 months, these ones started cracking right there, and then my feet were getting wet, and my socks were getting all dirty from the manure and water and everything that would seep through there. And the year before that, I believe these are a pair of bogs in this picture here that I was wearing. And like I said, not much more than a year, and these things pretty much fell apart right there at the seam where the cloth meets the rubber. So then the year before that, I bought these expensive pair of muck boots. And these were the ones that were rated to the lowest temperatures. And within, I don't know, it was barely even 2 months, I think. And right here in the front, they cracked. Right there at the seam. Or not at the seam, but just right there. Kind of the same spot where when you're walking, the rubber creases there. So, like I said, within a month or two, I think it wasn't much more than 2 or 3 months. And these cracked right across there. And same thing, then it allows the liquid, the water, or whatever else to get in there, the snow. So I just haven't been happy with any of them, really. So when Highy reached out to me and offered me a free pair of boots, I jumped right on that. I told them I'd show the product on our channel, and then I'd give an honest review here at the end of the winter. We'll see how they hold up through the winter and if they're comparable to some of these other name brand ones. So the boots I picked out to try are these men's rubber working boots. They have an EVA midsole. I don't even know what that means, but that's what the description says. So just pulling them out of the box here, they seem pretty flexible and malleable. So hopefully that helps with the cracking and the creasing here where they flex at. But they're not quite as cold rated as those mucks were. Those last pair that I showed you, I think those mucks were rated to like 30 or 40 below. And these ones are rated down to 10 to 14 degrees, I think is what the description said. So I don't usually have a problem with my feet getting cold. They usually stay pretty warm, so I'm not too worried about that. So one thing I was surprised about when I got these boots, it says they have a lifetime warranty. So when I seen that, I was like, there's no way they can offer a lifetime warranty on a boot. I mean, no matter how good of a boot you get, it'll eventually wear out. And so I got online and kind of read up more on what they mean by that. And they just mean they offer a lifetime warranty on the normal lifespan of the boot. I couldn't really find an exact lifespan on what they expect the boot to last, but I'd assume, at least 6 months to a year is what I would assume. So right away putting them on, they feel pretty comfortable. I don't think I'll have a problem wearing them all day, that's for sure. And just being totally transparent with you guys, they didn't offer me any money to show the product on the channel. All they did was give me the free pair of boots and asked me to show them on the channel, so that's what I've done. So they gave me a free pair of boots and just asked me to show them in my day-to-day life, and so that's what we're going to do. And, today we're going to go about on our normal chores, and will just be a new pair of boots, which will be nice. And they're also offering everybody that watches our channel a 15% discount if they use the code LUTHIRANCH on one of the Highy websites to purchase their own pair of boots. So if you guys are interested in these boots, use the code LUTHIRANCH and you'll get 15% off, and we can try these boots out together this winter and see how they hold up. So I'll put the website down in the description, and the code for the 15% off, and the description of the boots that I got. They've got quite a few boots on there, like women's boots, kids boots, men's boots. you can look through and see if anything interests you. So that's that. We'll just get going with the rest of our day. So today I have a few things going on though. I'm getting a chicken water set up for the chickens. Just it's getting so cold now that we can't keep any water out here for them without it freezing. So we got something kind of jimmy rigged that I hope is going to work, and I'm going to give that a try today and see if we can't keep them some nice water. And a few other things going on. I want to put the snow plow on the front of the Dodge here, and you can see that these chicken waters are frozen solid, and they're just walking on them now, crapping everywhere. So this is what I'm going to try out. We've got this 5-gallon bucket, and we went out and bought one of these tank heaters. So then this one's supposed to be safe for plastic tanks. It's got the little guard around the element, so it shouldn't melt through the plastic, and it sits down in there like so. So I'm going to pop a hole in the top of this lid, then I can put that lid on top of the bucket, and hopefully that just keeps it that much more insulated. I guess if we really got wild and excited, we could wrap this with some kind of insulation to keep it from having to kick on so much. So I found this 2x4 here. I just spanned it across 3 of these trusses. And I'm just going to use baling twine and tie onto the handle here. I'm just going to hang this waterer from this truss right here. I probably didn't need to span it with I probably didn't need to span these 3 trusses with that 2x4, but I just figured with having this weight hanging here for an extended period of time, I didn't want to put extra stress on just a single truss. So that's why I'm going to span it across the 3 of them, just give it that much more strength up there. So I think that should be high enough off the ground. Guess we'll have to try it and see. I'm not really a chicken expert, so we just kind of wing a lot of the stuff we do with the chickens. Oh gosh. That lid's a little brittle. It's gonna be shattered when I stuck the knife through it. I'll find a different one. Oh, I found an even better one now. This one's got a actual lid that will just pull right off, and then we just run our, well, that end of the heater up through there. I guess if I'm really skilled, I'd be able to fill it up through there too, without making too much of a mess. Curious to see if this works or not. Plug it in real quick and just see if it warms up. Oh yeah, pretty quick. Okay, well, we know it works. So I guess if this doesn't work out, we'll just go back to using these pails. The problem with these is the chickens just make such a big mess in there. Like they crap in there, they kick up the dirt, and it just makes the water a mess. At least doing it this way, this has got a lid. And to access the water, it's got these little nipples down here on the bottom. And the chickens will just come up and flick these nipples, and that lets the water out. So hopefully this works. I don't know how this is going to work with how cold it gets around here, so we'll just have to keep an eye on it this first little bit and see how it does. So I just undid this chain, and this is how the plow is lifted up by the hydraulics, is by this chain here and that ram, of course. When I undo that, I can push this side here back pretty easy, and I get them pins to snap in without having to finagle a bunch of stuff. So we'll hook up our cables here. There's one here, and that one over there, and we can drop the ram, and we can put our chain back on and we can set. Got her hooked up, ready to go. So I got to run up to one of my neighbors real quick and help him cut out like 4 or 5 calves that he's gonna try to sell, I think next week. So we'll run up there and do that and continue on the rest of our day. So a lot of you guys know that for my daytime job, I drive truck for Old Dominion. And today I had to make some deliveries up in Teton National Park and some of the surrounding areas, and it's just a really pretty day, and figured I'd show you guys some of the scenery that I got to see today. It's had a really pretty day. Nice view of the Tetons right here in this little pull out. I'm gonna get back on the road and start heading home. But like I said, I just wanted to share that little bit of the view with you guys. It's almost too pretty not to share with someone. So I'm just getting home from work and excuse me, I got a little bit of daylight left before it gets dark. So hopefully we can get a few things done tonight. So yesterday, my family and I went up jackknife to cut down a Christmas tree. And while we were up there, we seen some cows up on one of these south-facing hillsides. And I was kicking my butt because I didn't take a pair of binoculars with us, and so I couldn't really tell whose they were. But either way, whoever they are, we need to go up there and take a look at them and see how we're gonna get them back all the way down to the corrals and get them home to their owners. I'm hoping they're mine, because if you guys watched last week's video, you heard me say that I'm still out 3 cows and 5 calves. So I grabbed a spot and scope, and I got a pair of binoculars and the side-by-side. I'm gonna head up there and see what we can see and see what we can find. So I'm gonna actually take a little bit of hay with me when I go up there, just to see if I can't bait them down from wherever they're at. Because like I said, when we were up there yesterday, they were up on a hillside, and it was a south-facing hillside, so it was a bare ground. There wasn't actually any snow on it. I got this little chunk of round belt that fell apart. I'm just gonna grab this and throw it in the back of the side-by-side and take it with me. I'm sure you guys can't see them, but there's a group of them right in there. It's about the exact same place I seen them yesterday too. And it was about the same time yesterday too, where it's getting close to being dark, and didn't have much time to do anything yesterday, and I had to work today, so wasn't much time to do anything today. But like I said, I just wanted to come back up here and lay eyes on them and kind of see whose they are. And then maybe we get a game plan from here. So at least the one that I can see from here looks like it's one of my neighbor's cows. I'm gonna move up a little bit closer and just see if I can get a better look on the rest of them. Hopefully jackknife is frozen enough for me to cross here. Luckily it's usually not very deep, but let's see. Okay. Just gonna hike up to the top of this little hill here and should be able to see them from there. So there's 4 of them grazing right here. So I feel like I got a pretty good look at them. So it looks like a pair of my neighbors. Then I've got one calf in there. Then it also looked like there was a bull in there too of my neighbors also. So I didn't want to get too close and spook them because they've just been hanging out right in here. So I didn't want them to feel pressured out of here. But at least we kind of know what we got up here and what we're dealing with. I can't really do anything tonight by myself, so we're gonna have to round up some help and go from there. Nice little night for a hike though. Probably can't really see it, but the side-by-side's parked right over there. Ooh. Oop. I'm not gonna do anything with the hay, just I'm too far away from them for them to even know that I threw it down. And they're not gonna want to cross that frozen creek anyway, so I don't think it'd do any good to throw it down right here. So after talking to my neighbor last night, we're gonna try to round up a few people over the next couple days and get some help to get the rest of those, or get them cows down off that hill and home. Because it's gonna be a little bit more of a project than just bringing them off the hill, because they're gonna have to cross that frozen creek. And if anybody, you know, if you've been around cows, you know they don't like crossing ice, and so we're gonna have to find a spot and break the ice apart to get them across that. Then that's where they're gonna have to cross. That's where we're gonna have to come down the hill with them at, is where we have the ice broken apart at. So at least that's the plan. But today I'm hanging out with Stevie for a little bit. And we're just gonna go hop in the side-by-side and go check on these cows and see how the grass is doing. See if it's about time to move them down to that river pasture or not yet. Because they've had access to that slough pasture for about 4 days now, and I'm kind of curious to see how much they've eaten in there. So here's that corner where we threw the protein tub, and this is that line I was showing you guys on where we cut and where we didn't cut hay. So you can see through here they've eaten all this good grass in here. So this is all pretty much eaten up, and now they've moved over to the other side of the slough. So there's a handful over there. So we'll run over there across the slough and go look at that over there. Over here and looking along the slough bank. We mowed this side off pretty good, and like I said, they're over there on the other side. Looks like there's still a little bit over there we're working on. So coming over here to this little swale here, there's still a little bit in here, but they've been in here pretty heavy too. And looks about like the same thing up here on top. So they probably got about one more day worth of feeding here. But I don't know that all the cows realize they can come in here, because the gate that we go through to come into this side is pretty narrow, just about as wide as the side-by-side, so 6 feet or so. And like I was mentioning earlier, they won't cross the slough with it being frozen because they don't like the ice. So if they're not coming through that gate, they're probably not coming in here. Going just to the south a little bit, there's still a fair amount of grass right up here. A little bit of grass in here too. But both Dad and I agreed that we'll just open up that river pasture to them. And these ones that are in this pasture right now can stay in here and finish eating this off. And I mean, if they're full and content, they probably won't move. And then we'll open up that pasture, and maybe the other ones that haven't come in here yet will go down to that river pasture. So this is what I'm talking about. This is all we have here, this little makeshift gate. This is where the pivot goes through, so just something we jimmy rigged. So we've got all these cows over here on this side that have come in here and are eaten. And then we got all these other cows over here along the slough bank, and I just don't know if they know to come in here or not. But either way, I'm just going to call them and see if I can't have them follow me down to the river, and we'll open that up to them. Hey cows! Hey cows! goes. I still have some of this hay in the back of the side by side, so I'm sure if I get one that reaches her head in there and takes a bite, she'll follow me all the way down to the river, and the rest of them will follow her. Hey, cows! Hey, cows! So this is what I showed you guys in last week's video. So they've got all this nice tall grass they can eat down here. Hey, cows! So let's throw off some salt and one of these mineral tubs. So in case you guys missed last week's video, I'll show you what this river pasture consists of. So we probably cut and bale about half of this river pasture, but then the other half looks a lot like this, with all these willows spread throughout here, and these ditches and swales, stuff that you can't get in here and cut, but it's got all this really tall grass in here. So all the cows have to come through here and do is just dig up this grass, and I've got tons of feed down in here. See if you better look at it. You can see how the grass is lodge pulled by the weight of the snow, but there's tons of grass down in here. And as I've mentioned before, it isn't the most nutritional stuff, so we try to keep these protein and mineral tubs in front of the cows just to make sure they're getting enough protein and nutrients. So hopefully we'll get at least another week's worth of feed down here. We'll just have to watch them and see how they do. So Lindsay just got home from work, so I handed off Stevie, and I'm gonna go run back down there and work on that water a little bit for them cows. So I think I'm gonna grab a couple of these hog panels here, because I don't think I have quite enough panels down there to get far enough in the water that they can drink out of. So I'm gonna take a couple of these panels down there just to extend it in there a little bit. So I'm just gonna pull these panels up and out of the, hopefully they're not too frozen. And we'll just V these panels out into the river there. Looks like we gotta go a little ways out there. So I brought 2 panels with me. So I think that'll get out there far enough, and we'll chip away the ice here and see how that does. That sneaking dog, Piper, doesn't matter if it's only 15 degrees outside, she'll go lay in the water. So I had to do a little bit of chipping to get this one broke free, but the other one was pretty easy to just pry it up and out of there. So I'm just going to shoot them right into the river there. Then I'll grab these hog panels and see what I have to do to get out there far enough that the current keeps the ice from building up. I guess this will give us a good chance to try out these boots and see how waterproof they are.
Well, it's not the prettiest thing, but it'll work for the week or two they're down here. Just wire these hog panels up to the other panels here, and so they got all this big area right in here they can drink out of. I see the cows found the hay in the back to side by side. Come on, cows, get out of here. Hey, hey. So I brought down another protein tub for him, another block of salt, and I'll just throw it probably over in this area here, close to the water. So we'll have some mineral and salt for him over here. Then the other tub is over here. Probably, I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple cows over there licking on it, right in front of the willows. So we'll drop these off and head home, call it a night. So far I'm pretty happy with these boots. My feet are still warm and dry after being in that river for however long that was, getting them panels set up. It'll be interesting to see how they hold up through the winter. So I think I'm gonna end this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.